Coming up on TV2 News, fires in California continue to burn as firefighters go into day 3 battling the flames. Why the weather is playing a major role in getting the fires out.
With Halloween tomorrow, the safety of kids who will take the streets to trick-or-treat is always a concern. We have tips for parents with kids participating in tomorrow's festivities.
And police are investigating what they believe is a targeted attack at a house party in California early this morning. What limited information officials know at this time.
The Kent State Musical Theater is paying tribute to May 4th this weekend. Find out how and if you can get involved. Your Wednesday edition of TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. I'm Lexi Biasi.
And I'm Kimmy Daniels.
We'll get to your top stories in Northeast Ohio in just a minute, but first a check on the dangerous situation in California.
Yeah, Lexi, a mixture of wind and no rain. That's what's fueling the California wildfires as they continue to surge the state.
As millions of residents have already been forced to evacuate their homes, firefighters are not only battling the fires, but they are battling the wind. Daryl Forges is in Los Angeles with more as they prepare for these conditions to worsen.
This is a challenging time.
More than 5,000 firefighters are battling the largest of the 10 major fires currently raging across the Golden State. Southern California is under the first ever extreme red flag warnings issued by the National Weather Service.
We're experiencing at or near historic wind events that precipitated in a statewide emergency declaration.
The warnings went into effect Tuesday night and will remain through Thursday evening. The Getty Fire there has charred hundreds of acres. By Tuesday evening, containment numbers were up, but officials warned the fight isn't over. Winds up to 70 miles per hour are expected in some areas, and with the low humidity, it's a recipe for disaster.
It only takes one ember to blow down wind to start another fire.
The Kincaid Fire in the northern part of the state is California's largest active fire, charring tens of thousands of acres with less than 20% containment a week after it started.
We can confirm 189 structures have now been destroyed. 86 of those are single-family dwellings.
While winds in that area look to be dying down.
We do not anticipate any rain in the forecast in the next 7, perhaps 10 days.
Moving to Ohio, Shaker Heights police are investigating an Uber crash that killed 2 people over the weekend, including a math teacher from Beechwood City Schools. The crash happened Saturday around 11 p.m. The driver was taken to the hospital where he was treated and released, but both passengers died. Victims have been identified as Barbara Becker of Shaker Heights and Arthur Gugick, the teacher from Beechwood. The driver of the other vehicle, a 31-year-old man, was treated at a hospital and taken into custody. And the Cleveland Clinic has made a major medical breakthrough. Doctors have successfully performed the Midwest's first purely laparoscopic living donor surgery for a liver transplant. Cleveland Clinic is one of only a handful of hospitals worldwide that is able to pull off this kind of transplant, so congratulations to the Cleveland Clinic.
And police confirmed 7 people were treated after being exposed to an unknown substance in Lorain County on Tuesday. Officers were called to the Walmart off Highway 20 in Oberlin for a suspected overdose in the parking lot. Once there, a suspect and officer were exposed to the substance, which authorities believe is some sort of opioid, and became unresponsive. 5 other people were exposed at Mercy Health Allen Hospital. There is no update on the situation of the Walmart, and all of the patients are considered to be in stable condition as authorities test the substance. This is a developing story.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Rachel Gross with your nightly weather report. Let's take a look at the conditions currently in Kent. So the rain and clouds have moved into the region. Tonight we're seeing temperatures of about 57 degrees, so it is still quite warm outside. We're seeing a bit of humidity here, 72%, and those winds coming in from the east at 8 miles per hour, so it is a little bit windy outside. You're going to want to hold on to your umbrellas if you go outside tonight. Now looking ahead throughout the night, we are going to see some scattered showers. The rain that's happening right now is going to return around 10 p.m., but 8 p.m. and midnight, pretty cloudy, no precipitation as far as we can see, but at 10 p.m. we are going to see the rain again. And then throughout Northeast Ohio, temperatures are remaining pretty much the same across the region. Sandusky's at 52, And then Canton and Youngstown are in the 60s right now. And then looking at tomorrow, which is Halloween, 65 degrees, so it is going to remain pretty warm tomorrow. We are going to be seeing those showers come back, rain at times, but it's going to be picking up into the evening. That's all I have for weather right now. Make sure you stay tuned for my full forecast of what you can expect Halloween night.
Thanks, Rachel. Well, to stick indoors, this Friday is the opening night of Kent State University's production of Hair.
Yes, our reporter Cameron Calderwood attended their rehearsal to get the inside scoop on what the show means to the program. Hi, Cameron.
Hi guys. Hair the Musical not only features some of the most talented students here at Kent State, it also tells a story that is indicative of the history of May 4th. Take a look.
Yesterday, I visited the rehearsal for Kent State University's musical theater production of Hair. Peace signs, bell bottoms, free spirits and all, this show is sure to impress. This production is unlike any other. With the 50th anniversary of the May 4th shootings quickly approaching, the show is deeply connected to Kent State history. As a tribute to the victims, the cast showcased their music at the May 4th Memorial. Let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in.
For our cast to go to the memorial and pay tribute to the victims who had the courage to stand up and fight for our country is overwhelmingly powerful and emotional. And I think it's changing their lives.
To get a better idea of just how much impact this show has had on students, I interviewed one of the castmates about his character.
Yeah, so I'm playing HUD. He's very against all like the Vietnam War, sending black people out on the front lines and all those things. He's really for black power, absolutely.
I also spoke with the choreographer of the production to find out how he thinks audiences will react to the show.
A sense of freedom, a sense of liberation, a sense of hope, a sense of love, and most importantly that this theatrical piece that was produced, in 1968, 1967 at the Public Theater has a life beyond that time.
I really, really wanted to focus the story on the events in our country and the particular relevance to Kent State University. Our cast, through the experience of this show, is coming to realize their power as human beings.
The show runs from November 1st through the 10th. You can get your tickets at the Stump Theater box office. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Cameron Calderwood.
As children prepare their costumes for Halloween tomorrow, sheriff's offices across the country are warning parents to check their kids' candy before they eat it. There are many forms of marijuana edibles and THC-infused candies, which could potentially harm a child. Police advise parents to discard of any item given to children that appears to be homemade or is packaged in nondescriptive foil. You should always be familiar with the locations you allow your children to trick or treat. The FDA also recommends you go through your child's candy with them, disposing of any that look tampered with, discolored, or torn. And again, police always recommend you accompany your child and never allow them to trick or treat alone. Ohio law allows registered sex offenders to hand out candy. We used the Portage County Sheriff Department website to see how many sex offenders were registered within a 1-mile radius of our newsroom, and we found 11. Their crimes range from unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, gross sexual imposition, and possession of child pornography. If you would like to check out the website for offenders around your address, visit the link at the bottom of your screen.
It's National Candy Corn Day. You either love it or you hate it. Vote on our Twitter poll at TV2KSU and we reveal the results live.
But when we return, a shooting in California has left police trying to piece together the motive. We have everything they know at this time.
You may need a coat while trick-or-treating and an umbrella, hat, gloves, all that. Stay tuned for details about what you can expect. TV2 will be right back.
Hi, Hi there, my name is Lexi Biasi.
And I'm Katie Payette.
Our motto here at our station is truly Portage County. We pride ourselves on bringing the stories that matter most to you, both online and on air.
And this election cycle is no different. On November 5th, starting at 7:30 p.m., we will have a special edition of TV2 News.
Our live team coverage all night long will break down the issues and results from right here in Portage County.
We'll also break down the major election issues and races from Ohio and across the country.
If you have Spectrum, watch us on channel 4.2 or online at kenwire.com.
So get out and vote, then tune in right here at TV2 to see results around the county and the state.
We'll see you on November 5th.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Thanks for sticking with us. Another tragedy in California after 3 people were left dead and 9 injured after a shooting at a house party. The Long Beach police chief says he doesn't believe this is a gang-related attack, but he does believe it was targeted. Of the 12 people shot, 3 men died and 7 women and 2 men were wounded, all between the ages of 20 and 49. Police describe the scene as horrific with blood everywhere and are actively looking for a male with dark-colored clothing who was in the area at that time. And moving east to Georgia, 1 person has died after a plane crashed into an apartment complex this morning. There were 2 people on the plane at the time. 1 died and the other is still unaccounted for. There was no one in the complex at the time. The DeKalb County Fire Marshal has deemed all 6 apartments within the townhome complex unsafe to live in. Authorities don't believe weather or visibility played a role in the crash, but the FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are investigating.
And moving to Washington, top White House Ukraine expert Alexander Vindman told investigators he was convinced that President Trump was personally blocking $400 million in military aid to Ukraine to force the country to release information about Hunter and Joe Biden. This comes after his testimony yesterday, where he said he was convinced of quid pro quo by July 10th. President Trump and other key Republicans say that Washington has more important matters to deal with, saying Speaker Pelosi needs to end her, quote, infatuation with impeachment. More than 50 health and advocacy groups are sending a message to U.S. Health and Human Services and First Lady Melania Trump to stick with the plan announced last month requiring vaping companies to take flavored products off the market. The groups are responding to recent reports that the Trump administration could back down from their earlier stance and include exceptions for mint and menthol flavors. Organizations say the policy would be, quote, weakened by the exception of these 2 flavors.
And another newly announced ban, Twitter will ban political advertising from its platform starting on November 22nd. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey sent out a number of tweets talking about his decision to pull political ads from his platform. He says that the decision to follow a candidate and their beliefs is up to each individual person and should not be compromised by money.
Taking a look to Halloween night now, it's going to be a pretty miserable evening if you do decide to go out trick-or-treating. There are going to be a couple of evening showers and the winds are going to pick up. You can see gusts of wind of up to 43 miles per hour, and it's going to be 34 degrees but also feel like 16 because of that wind chill that we have coming in. And of course, all the rain throughout tomorrow night is going to be pretty miserable as well. You can see 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m., all rain and wind. So it's going to make for a very wet night. Now looking ahead at the 7-day, like I said, Thursday, rain in the morning a little bit, then picking up in the afternoon as we get those winds coming in. Friday, much cooler. Those winds are going to die off starting throughout the day. Saturday, it's going to get a little bit colder Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with temperatures in the 40s. Chilly, partly sunny on Saturday, clouds and sun on Sunday. And that trend is going to continue into Monday as we're going to keep seeing clouds and sun. It's going to warm up just a little bit on Monday to 40 to 53 degrees. and heading into Tuesday, showers are possible on Tuesday. That high is going to stay up to 55, and then Wednesday is going to drop back down into the 40s. It's going to be mostly cloudy on Wednesday. So with the exception of tomorrow, we're looking at a pretty dry next week.
You know, I really feel for those kids because nothing is worse than preparing your costume, trying to get it as best as it can be, and then you just have to put a coat over it, an umbrella, and it's just...
Yeah, I completely agree. I've had plenty of Halloweens where I've had to wear a coat over my costume. It just kind of ruins the whole
remember it
look.
happening on so many occasions when I was young. Like I had this perfect outfit. I remember I was Tinkerbell one year and I had to wear a jacket over it. It made me so upset.
Yep, I was Hannah Montana and I had to put on a coat and I was just like,
and then
ruined.
you were Miley Cyrus. Yeah, how does it go like that? Thank you, Rachel.
And House Bill 168 passed yesterday. A key aspect of that bill is the Cemetery Grant Fund.
That's right, and our reporter Connor Steffen got to experience the bill in action firsthand today. He joins us now. Hi, Connor.
Hi guys, yep, that's right, thank you. I got to experience a bill 2 years in the making be first put into action today. Ravenna Township received a ceremonial check of over $1,400 to improve signage at the Grandview Memorial Cemetery. Take a look.
I'm hopeful that first and foremost, we are making at least a small impact.
Smiles were shared this morning at Grandview Memorial Cemetery as the Ravenna landmark received additional funding to conserve it.
I think we can appreciate that the state of Ohio is looking at our efforts to improve our site, and we're very thankful to the state of Ohio.
Yesterday, a bill was passed into law in the Buckeye State, a bill over 2 years in the making. In March of 2017, Ohio Representative Dick Stein introduced House Bill 168 to the floor. The bill specifies that cemetery owners must maintain their property. The bill also establishes a cemetery grant program.
We realize that the grant program is a small step in the right direction.
Ann Petit, the superintendent of the Ohio Commerce Division of Real Estate and Professional Licensing, states why cemeteries are so important.
Part of the importance of maintaining Ohio's cemeteries is our rich history that resides in these properties.
Maintaining property grounds is especially important for Grandview Memorial, who received over $1,400 today from the state for new signage.
That way, when people come to visit, they can clearly identify where their family members are buried or where their potential plots are.
The grant can also be used in a plethora of other ways.
This is all about helping cemeteries with exceptional maintenance, restoration, repair.
House Bill 168 now allows for a brighter future for cemeteries.
I believe that there is room for growth in the Grant Cemetery program.
One landmark at a time.
We're bringing it back so that it is a nice location in our small town.
The Ohio Department of Commerce will be awarding over $75,000 to 65 cemeteries in over 34 counties throughout Ohio in the upcoming months. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Connor Steffen. Back to you guys at the desk.
You either love it or you hate it. We asked how you feel about candy corn on National Candy Corn Day. A lot of you were pretty torn. Stick with us.
And see how the Nationals defeated the Astros in Game 6 last night and what tonight's game holds.
You've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Welcome back to TV2. I'm your sports anchor, Nicole Bienvenu. And despite their efforts last night, Kent State field hockey team fell to Ohio State at home this weekend, losing 4-0. The Buckeyes led in shots and penalty corners, but Kent State junior Clara Rodriguez-Sato led the Golden Flashes offense with 3 shots. Looking forward to Saturday, the Flashes are home against Longwood, and they will host their senior night before the start of the game, honoring 7 of their seniors. Game time is set for noon. And in their last game, the Kent State women's soccer team dropped to Miami University 2-0. But tomorrow they're hoping to get a win as they host Ohio University at Dick Stadium. The Golden Flashes currently sit in the 10th position in the MAC standings with 11 points. Not only does Kent need a win against Ohio tomorrow in order to qualify for the 8-team MAC tournament, but they also need both Michigan and Toledo to lose. And moving over to the NBA, after losing to the Bucks Monday night, the Cavs are looking for a win tonight when the Chicago Bulls travel to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. So far this season, the Cavs have looked to Kevin Love to create offensive opportunities. Both Love and Tristan Thompson already hold 3 straight triple-doubles, and after a season-ending injury for Zach LaVine last year, he's back in the game and has led the Bulls in scoring and assists. Tip-off for tonight's game is at 7 p.m. And tonight, the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals lay it all out for the winner-take-all Game 7 of the World Series. Both teams are just 27 outs away from their World Series title. Last night, the Nationals took Game 6 and are looking for a win tonight to claim their first World Series championship in franchise history. Let's take a look at last night's highlight. Has an RBI single that brings in Turner, and the Nationals take the lead 1-0 on the top of the first. And here we see Alex Bregman with a solo home run to deep left center. The Astros go up 2-1 in the lead in the bottom of the first. And Juan Soto hits this one to deep right field. It is a solo home run. The Nationals take the lead 3-2 in the top of the fifth. This guy is super hyped. The Nationals take the lead right here now, 5-2, with Anthony Rendon's 2-run home run and his 3rd RBI of the game. In the top of the 7th here, the Nationals go up 5-2, and they win last night 7-2. And that's all I have for sports. For up-to-the-minute coverage, follow us at TV2 Sports. I'm Nicole Bienvenu.
And as we wait to see how this weather will play out for Halloween tomorrow, we'll tell you whether you should switch your superhero cape for a rain jacket. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I
Right?
mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
Tomorrow, candy will take the center stage as little ghosts and goblins head out door to door to collect their treats. But that doesn't mean a Halloween classic can't get some attention a little early. You either love it or you hate it, but it's National Candy Corn Day. I took to Twitter to ask my followers whether they were a candy corn fan or a hater, and it turns out, drum roll please, they're a fan. 53% say they love it and 47% say they hate it out of 51 votes. Now, I personally love candy corn, even though it's honestly just straight sugar, so if you get any tomorrow and don't want it, I'm always open to some leftover candy.
Halloween in Salt Lake City is often bone-chillingly cold, but thankfully one group is offering an indoor alternative. 7 different assisted living communities are hosting children of all ages for a warm indoor trick-or-treat. The night gives assisted living residents the chance to be kids again, and the event is sure to be a special trick-or-treat for all involved.
And sticking with Halloween, I remember growing up I would be so proud of my costume, but then my mom would make me put on a coat because it was cold and rainy. And sadly, kids this year are experiencing the same issue. Many towns across the country have rescheduled their trick-or-treat because of the weather. Mike Cronin has more.
The frights of Halloween are upon us. If you want a good scare this year, Seed Street in Salem is the place to be.
We just try to make it fun for the kids. You know, a lot of people don't even put their lights on anymore for the trick-or-treaters.
Because of potential rain on Thursday, the town is delaying trick-or-treating to Saturday night. The Saracens hope to get a big crowd.
Maybe even more because it's on a weekend now.
Salem is one of at least a dozen communities in New Hampshire to postpone trick-or-treating.
The area chiefs actually spoke together, and they're the ones that pretty much designate when Halloween is going to take place. So you have Hudson, Salem, Windham, and Pelham all have moved to Saturday night.
Safety is driving that decision.
Come Thursday night, the rain's going to be coming down. There's going to be wind. We don't want tree limbs coming down. Obviously, we don't want visibility issues when you have kids out in the neighborhoods.
Pelham police are also collecting candy donations. Neighbors on Blueberry Circle are offering treats Saturday night at the end of their driveways for anyone with mobility issues.
We'll also set up a police cruiser, and we'll be giving out candy as well. I think the officer's going to dress up.
Whether celebrating Thursday or this weekend, officials want people to be careful and have fun.
Now, Lexi, I know you said you like candy corn. Do you guys like candy corn?
Personally, I'm a fan of candy corn, but only in small amounts because too much will make me sick.
Yeah, that's understandable. What
Guys,
about you,
I'm a
Nicole?
huge fan of candy corn. I'll sit there and eat it for hours.
So
that means my poll's going up.
Yeah, and I'm the only person up here that doesn't like candy corn.
Now, I know Halloween's tomorrow, we all know that, but did you know that daylight saving times ends this weekend? So that means we gain an hour of sleep. So I'm really, really excited
Looking
about
forward.
that. But am I going to be excited about what to expect with the weather this weekend?
Unfortunately, you might be a little bit upset tomorrow. As we said, there's going to be some pretty heavy rain and wind throughout the evening. But going into the weekend, it seems to be, it's going to be a pretty nice weekend. It's going to be a little bit chilly, but the sun is going to be out from time to time. Temperatures are going to drop, but we're going to see them rise back up again a little bit into the beginning of next week. So we are going to be seeing that sun, so that might make you a little bit happier with the weather going on.
Yeah. What are your costumes? If you are doing anything.
My boyfriend and I, he's being Santa and I'm being Mrs. Claus, so we get to stay warm. We have the Christmas theme already. We're warm. We're good.
We were a Dalmatian and a firefighter,
I love
so you know we were that fire.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, last weekend, my boyfriend and I went as Spencer Shane the ostrich from iCarly, if you guys remember that episode.
That was my favorite.
It was iconic.
Guys, I feel like me and my roommates always throw together costumes last minute, so we'll probably go out shopping tomorrow at the thrift store or something to look.
Sometimes that's the way to do it.
It is.
I like making your costume instead of buying it already pre-made from a Halloween store.
It makes it a lot more special and unique, too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, that will do it for this Wednesday evening. Thank you for joining us. You can always find the latest headlines and breaking news on Kent Wired.
And you can catch up on all things gaming with All Systems Go tonight at 9, only on TV2. I'm Kimmy Daniels.
And I'm Lexi Biasi. For all of us at Portage County's TV2, have a great night.